and she scowled. I mean it, Duck. You put me in charge of looking after the team's health and well-being, and you are the worst one I have to ride herd on. I will pull the plug. He glared at her, but after one more glance at the screens, he sighed. Fine. But I'll have an early start in the morning. Don't make me late. Cynthia was unperturbed. You do know that if you get a good night's sleep, you'll blow yourself up a whole lot less in the morning, don't you? She reminded him acerbically. Thank you, Cynthia. He ground out and stalked out of the room. He didn't see the tiny smile that curved her lips as he left, but he didn't need to. He knew she was smiling, damn it. His assistant followed him out, shaking her head. I'll see you tomorrow, Professor. She used his title again. Something she did when he'd done the right thing, as if her recognition of it was a reward. And it worked, damn it. He knew he was on the right track when she called him Professor, or even Doc. And he liked it when she approved. Even if he wasn't interested romantically. If she'd been single, maybe, but she wasn't. Marcus pushed that thought aside, managed to smile, and raised his hand in farewell. Thanks, Cynthia. She was picking her keys and handbag up when he surfaced, and she gave him a happy smile as he emerged. Your meal's waiting, Doc. See you tomorrow. He watched her go before he made his way to the tiny staff kitchenette to find he didn't need to heat his supper. It was still covered and hot. With a sigh, he sat and reflected on the past 2 weeks and their various attempts, none of which had succeeded. It had been one hell of a ride, though. As he mulled over the day's work, he ate what catering had provided and then headed to the car park. If the truth be told, he didn't want to go home, but he had to. The university had refused to provide him with a room. Marcus sighed. Maybe he could speak to one R&D about that. It was no secret that he hated leaving the lab, even if it was still there when he returned in the morning. Sleep was hard to come by that night, and when it did, it was plagued by dreams. He returned the next morning, but felt worse than when he'd left. Cynthia took one look at him and frowned. Did you get any sleep last night? She demanded. He managed a bleary-eyed glare and took the coffee she handed him. I tried, but I didn't sleep very well, he replied. I dreamed. And did your dreams come up with a solution? She pressed. After a gulp of coffee, he shook his head. Not unless you count being blown up another 6 different ways as a solution. So you know what not to try? She asked, and the slight smile was back. Despite his mood, he couldn't help but return it. I know what not to try, he agreed and sighed. But I'll have to try it anyway, if only to confirm it officially. She grimaced. It sucks. She agreed and took his cup as he drained it. She put it on a lab counter and gestured toward their pods. Shall we? He grimaced, but nodded. We shall. Cheer up, Professor. It'll be fun. You're not the one in charge of finding the solution. Worse, I'm fairly sure Nathan and Trey plan to ambush me on the way out of the lab so they can get payback. He grumbled and closed the lid of the virtual reality pod over him. You know they're far too nice to do anything of the sort, Cynthia told him shortly. Marcus didn't acknowledge that with a reply, partly because he was in a hurry to get to his terminal, and partly because Nate, Trey, and Gemma were waiting for him when he arrived. So? The woman demanded. Did you come up with anything? Only about 6 ways I'm reasonably sure will cause us to explode in spectacular fashion, he replied, and they groaned. He caught sight of his assistant at the back of the room. She cocked an eyebrow at him, and he remembered what she tried so hard to instill in him. How about you? He added, a little uncomfortable because